Hello, hello, I'm audible.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, okay. Welcome you, sir. Good evening, dear participants and my colleagues. It is my great honor and privilege to welcome you all to this 13th session of ATAL Online 6-Day Faculty Development Program 2025 on building the next wave of Indian startups with advanced computing technologies. Today, we are greatly honored to have with us our esteemed speaker, Dr. Sanmitra Sarkar sir, who is Senior Director and Head of Generative AI, Capgemini, who will enlighten and enrich us with his valuable talk on future trends, advanced computing technologies in startups. The future of startups is increasingly intertwined with advanced computing technologies, which are poised to drive innovation and competitiveness. Emerging trends such as quantum computing, edge computing, and AI-powered automation offer startups the ability to scale faster, enhance decision-making, and optimize operations. With quantum computing promising breakthroughs in areas like cryptography and drug discovery, and edge computing enabling real-time data processing at the source, startups can develop more agile and sophisticated solutions. Now, to give us more insight into this wide topic and share his experience and expertise with us, we have our today's respected speaker, Dr. Sanmitra Sarkar sir, with us. And I take this privilege to introduce sir now. Dr. Sir is Senior Director and Head of Generative AI Capgemini. Dr. Sanmitra Sarkar sir is working in the industry for close to 20 years. He is working as the Senior Director and Head of Generative AI for Capgemini. He has also worked for IBM, TCS, HSBC, and Nielsen. Dr. Sonmitra is now focusing on building the generative AI competency for Capgemini. He is heading Capgemini's Generative AI Center of Competence (COC). He has deep understanding of generative AI concepts like retrieval augmented generation (RAG), prompt engineering, prompt tuning, fine tuning, etc. He and his team have worked on several large language models (LLM) like GPT 4.0, Llama 3 and 4, Granite, Code Llama, Star Coder, Mistral 7B, etc., to name a few. He has managed or led multi-million dollar AI, analytics, IoT, blockchain, and BI projects, POCs, and solutions for automotive, CPG, retail, healthcare, banking, telecom, and other industries. He has also contributed technically as a senior data scientist, having vast experience in data science, AI, and ML areas. Dr. Sanmitra Sarkar sir is also an IBM certified master inventor with 12 patent filings in US Patent Office. He has also actively reviewed and mentored first-time inventors. Dr. Sonmitra is also an academician, having taught subjects like data science, AI/ML, IT, and marketing, and also conducted faculty development programs in institutions like IIFT, IBS, IEM, Techno India, AOT, IMI, Pratyusha Engineering, and now in our college, Supreme Knowledge Foundation. He has multiple publications in top-rated ABDC and UGC care-listed journals. He has written a couple of case studies which were published in Sage Business Cases and are being taught in prestigious Pennsylvania University in US. So welcome you, sir, to this session. Now I request all to please join me in giving a warm welcome to our today's speaker, Dr. Sanmitra Sarkar, sir. And now I kindly request, sir, to please start your session. Over
Yeah,
to you,
thanks.
sir. Thank
Yeah,
you so
thanks.
much.
Thanks for the kind words. Just one correction. I perhaps because the timing has been shifted with Tanushram, my topic is not what you have said. My topic is uh, I'll share my screen. It is data analytics and
Okay.
visualization for startups. I think the
Okay.
particular topic has been already covered in the afternoon session. Yeah, let me give me a time.
Okay, sir. So the topic, the future trends, advanced computing technologies in startup. So
No,
this is the topic.
no, this is the topic. If you can see my screen, data analytics and visualization for startups. Can you see my screen? Hello.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is the
Okay.
topic which has been shared with me. So let's
Okay.
start. Yeah. So first of all, we need to understand.
Yes, okay, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So let me start. So first of all, whenever so as this is an FTP, so again another correction. This is not the first time I am uh, taking any FTP session in Supreme Knowledge, and I have taken not only FTP sessions but also many sessions with the current and the previous students. I think it is the sixth collaboration with Supreme Knowledge for me. Okay, I actually took couple of FTP sessions in last year's ATAL FDP, which was conducted in around February 2024. Okay, so uh, let me start. So as this is an FTP session, I'll go a little deeper. And whenever you find any presentation, this is a suggestion to all the faculties. First of all, it might not be clear to the audience. You need to understand what kind of audience that might come. There would be varied audience. So one kind of audience would be extremely knowledgeable, but there would be some audience who are not knowing the terminologies at all. This might happen as well. So whenever you start the presentation, if you have time, I know time is a constraint, but when you have time, like when you have a presentation for 1 hour, 1.5 hours, first of all, try to give the glance about what is the topic. So what are the words mentioned? So for example, here in my case, data analytics and visualization. So first of all, we need to be very sure what is data analytics, because there are multiple similar kind of words are used in this particular purpose. Data analytics, AI, machine learning, big data, data mining. So what are the kind of overlap, or are they completely exclusive terms, or there are some interaction among them? So there was a Venn diagram. That is why I'm starting with this, that data analytics, big data, and methods and algorithms. These three are the uh, taken together are the fields of data science. And our topic is for today's data analytics and visualization. So let us start with the data analytics, which is the process of examining data sets in order to find trends and draw conclusion about the information they contain. So you need to have a data set, and from the data set you try to find insights and trends. That is called the data analytics or data analysis. And a subset of that is called a data mining, where you have multiple data sets, huge data sets, like your mining of different minerals like coal, gold, etc. Here also you try to mine the data to find meaningful information. So it's a subset of data. It is also kind of a data analytics, but it is specifically digging deep into the data to get any information out of it. That is called the data mining. And big data refers to the data sets that are too large for or complex to be dealt with by traditional data processing application software. You need special software or application to kind of uh, dealing with this kind of a data. That is what called a big data. So that is why big data has an overlap with the data mining, and definitely it has different software tools, and there is a specific area in big data which is called the big data analytics. So you are doing analysis on top of the big data. So that is called the big data analytics. And methods and algorithms are the ways you can do this analysis on top of big data, on top of any other data. And machine learning is a subset of these methods and algorithms. So machine learning is also part of data analytics and is also part of the methods and algorithms. So machine learning is a subfield of artificial intelligence, which is broadly defined as the capability of a machine to imitate intelligent human behavior. It is a field of inquiry devoted to understanding and building methods that can learn. So it is basically the method to copy human behavior. There is some background noise. Can you go on mute, please?
Excuse us,
Yeah,
sir. Sorry to interrupt you. Sir, is there any presentation slide? Because
yeah,
we
I'm
are not
sharing.
able. Okay,
I'm not.
slide is visible. So slide is not visible to us.
Okay, let me do share
Dr.
it back
Sarkar,
again.
if you yes, if you kindly reshare the slides once more. And Dr. Sarkar, sincere thanks and gratitude from Supreme Knowledge Foundation, as always you extend your support. So really,
No
it's a
problem.
pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
And okay, thank you.
Can you see my screen now?
I cannot see. I do not know about
Sir,
rest.
still not is still not visible. It takes some time to be present.
It is showing from my side that it is being shared, and I'm now again stop sharing and let me share again. I'm not sure what is the problem. Let me do the entire screen share. Can you see now?
Yes, sir. Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, now it's okay.
You,
Yes, sir. Now it's okay. Mhm.
yeah. So this is the Venn diagram. So I'll just touch again this point. So this is the Venn diagram. So what I started with is that whenever you have a topic, you should first try to kind of explain to. There would be a section of the audience to whom these terminologies can be very new. So it is a suggestion to all of you, whenever you present, whenever you have time, just explain the terminologies first. So as my topic was data analytics and visualization, it is good to understand what is data analytics and in the context of as it is a part of data science. So I have just explained what are the different fields of data science, and it's a combination of data analytics, big data, and methods and algorithm. Of course, there is an overlap with big data in terms of it can also do analysis on the big data, complex data. It can also, there is a subset of data analytics which is called the data mining. Like any mineral mining, it goes deep into the data and find insights out of it. And then you have the methods and algorithms to kind of help analyze this data. So machine learning is a subset of that. And actually the definition of machine learning is it is kind of the methods which can help to mimic the human behaviors. So there are statistical methods, there are mathematical formulas which can help us on that. So this is in a nutshell the different fields of data science and where exactly data analytics resides. Now, what is the data analytics process? at the very first thing, you need to have a business problem in hand. So you should not think of data analytics just as a technical problem, or a technical solution, but a business solution to a business problem. So in one hand, you have a business problem and the final result is the business solution. Now, what are the different intermediate steps among them? So first is defining this problem, whether the problem is clear to everyone. For example, identify factors influencing low customer satisfaction. For example, you are running a restaurant, you are not having very good footfalls. You are trying to identify the factors why there is a low footfall or low customer satisfaction in that particular restaurant. So in order to do that, you need to find different other steps. The second step would be collecting the data that can help solve this particular problem, or even before solving the problem, just understand the problem. You need to collect the data. So for example, in a case of a restaurant, you can have the POS machine where people actually give your swipe your cards, or you have just give cash. So you have the billing system. So from the billing system, you know what time of the day, what time of the day of the week, or what week of the month people are visiting your restaurant, when the footfall is little higher than the rest of the week or rest of the hours in a particular day. So you collect that data from the POS. Then you can also give some do some surveys. Whosoever visits your um, restaurant, give them a small questionnaires, that 2 or 3 questions. How was the food, whether the price is fine, whether they like the ambience. So from this survey and from this POS data, you can find some kind of information out of it. So this is just an example. So basically, first of all, you need to define the problem or objective. Then you need to collect the data. Then you need to do the data cleansing activity. So whenever you get the data might be not very clear. So when you are inputting that data into a particular software, so a very good crude example is just um, uploading that data into an Excel. So you need to remove the errors, remove the duplicates, handle the missing values, and do whatever to make the data complete. So this is the third step. And then you need to do some exploratory data analysis to find out whether your data is good or not. Okay, what kind of distribution it has, whether it has a very good distribution. It is not only a particular audience, but all kinds of visitors have been taken care of. So if you are restaurant, your restaurant, definitely there would be people who are visiting, might be less than 18 years of age and can be more than 60 years of age as well. So that kind of a distribution should be present in your data as well, because your data might be for 1 year or say 6 months data, or your surveys might be for just say 200 300 people. So that should be a very good representation of what kind of customers that are visiting your restaurant. So you need to explore that by doing some exploratory data analysis to figure out what kind of people are more visiting your place, what kind of people are not at all visiting your place, whether you need to change some ambience. So kids are not liking your restaurant at all. Perhaps your target is kids, but the kids are not coming. So those kind of things can be easily found out by doing some exploratory data analysis. Definitely, then you need to do the data transformation, data analysis, and modeling, interpretation of result, visualization and communication, action and implementation, and monitoring and iteration. I'm just brushing through this because I'll come back again. So why this is needed in case of startups? So our target in this particular FDP program is uh, doing it for the startups. Why they need data analytics and visualization? Because in startups, what we know all is that the budget is very less. If you are having a very less budget, so you need to go by, you cannot spend a lots and lots of rupees or dollars on promotions to just to increase your sales. So as I say, suppose restaurant or I say bookstore or any other thing, you need to want to increase your revenue, or you want to decrease your cost. So what can help you? So one is definitely you can do some advertising and spend lots of money. But in case of a startup scenario, you cannot spend that much of amount of money in marketing. So you need to go by the data that you have. So you need to take your decisions by data. So data driven decisions. So definitely even the corporates are doing that as well, but there are experienced people there. So startups perhaps are being formed by some people who are very new to this industry. Perhaps in most of the cases they are only having 5-10 years of experience. Even 2-3 years of experience people are also founding startups. So in their case experience is much less, so they cannot go by their instinct. Okay, the corporate CEOs or the corporate senior management can decide based on their whatever their instincts are saying, whatever their experience are saying. But startups cannot be only dependent on the people who have founded that particular company. It needs to be done, the decision should be made based on what kind of data they have. So they need to operate in a resource constrained environment. So data analytics help to prioritize actions. Okay, this data is saying that uh, there is a problem in the ambience. Then they can spend some money, say, think about what is the target customer group. Based on that, they can change the ambience. Okay, there is a problem of footfall between in the early afternoon, say between 3 to 5 p.m. or say 2 to 4 p.m. So they can give some very good discounts during that period of time. So these kind of decisions can be made by startups by looking at what are the uh, actions that can be taken based on the data. So data driven decisions. Second is customer understanding. Learning customer preferences, behavior, pain points, uh, it is important. So what can help? Data analytics and visualization. If you can see that, okay, in a pie chart, that customer are preferring this kind of a food, that they are looking for Indian food with this kind of a taste, they are looking for some kebabs, they are looking for this kind of a taste, which is say they are looking for some multiple other things in the menu. So you need to understand what is customer is looking for. So that can only be found if you dig deep into the data and present it in a way that can be easily visualized by the people who are deciding on it. So not only doing the analysis is important, but how to present that. So in that particular startup, there would be some management graduates, there would be some engineers who will help them just prepare the reports and charts and summarize in a way. One, they are summarized in some bullets, and secondly they also present it in some visually stunning charts and graphs, which is very easy to understand as well. Because ultimately when you are taking decisions, you do not have lot of time. You cannot spend 4, 5, 10 days just to look into the data. You need a summary, which the summary can be very well presented by the data visualization. So that is why uh, data analytics and visualization is important to understand the customers. Performance monitoring, then you also need to understand how your company is performing. So there need to be some kind of key performance indicators. So there are some financial ratios, what is the kind of return on investment. Those kind of KPIs are already existing, but there are a lot many other KPIs like this kind of footfall to in a restaurant scenario, footfall to actual sales ratio. So there might be high footfalls, but the sales is less. That means people are visiting, but they are not spending that much in that particular restaurant or shop. They are not, if it is a shop, they are not buying, they are just window shopping. In the restaurant, they are perhaps only spending time with just one coffee because they want to spend some time with their friends. So they are taking a cup of coffee and leaving the restaurant. So that are not, so there are higher footfalls, but that are not reflecting into the sales. So footfall to actual sales ratio can help. So this kind of key performance indicators are also important, and again data analytics is definitely important here. And investor reporting. So finally, startups are built by some investment from the angel investors, investors who are not related to that particular company. They have suppose you have pitched to that particular investor that I need some money, and this is the 3-year growth I am projecting. So after 3 years, you will get the return on investment. So investors would be very much kind of, they would be looking for this kind of information, that how you are faring, how is your performance, how what is the sales, what is the cost, whether you are able to recover the cost, whether you are in a situation to repay the loans, or all those things. So they would not like to see a huge report or huge data. They would like to know this in a simple, say, one pager, two pager, or one slide, two slides. They do not have time, because they have multiple this kind of investments, this angel investors and others. They only would like to spend 10-15 minutes, maximum half an hour, on that particular presentation or a report. So clear visualizations can communicate them what is the progress, what is the return on investment they are subject to get. So these are the major reasons why data analytics and visualization matter for startups. Okay, so data driven decision. So what are the key steps in data driven decision making? As I said, it is similar to what I was talking about. What are the steps of data analytics? Defining the objective, collecting the relevant data, cleaning and organizing the data, analyze the data. Then we are talking about the cleaning step. Then definitely you need to analyze the data using statistical methods, visualization, machine learning to identify trends, correlation, insights. For example, you want to segment customer by purchasing behavior to identify those at risk of churn. For example, you have another competitor, people might leave you and go to your competition. So you want to segment the customer by this purchasing behavior, and you can use a clustering technique, this kind of methods, which is a unsupervised technique, and you can do that. But before that, you definitely need to do some exploratory data analysis and visualization, and then can go for this deep analysis of the data. Then you generate the insights. For example, discover the customers who don't receive follow-up communication within 7 days are more likely to churn. So suppose uh, customers who are getting follow-up communication, that okay, they have given some feedback and their feedback has been taken care of, they might not move from your company to some other company. But customers who do not receive follow-up communication within 7 days are more likely to churn. So this is one of the insight you can get out of the data. If you analyze the historical data, this kind of analysis or findings you can find, you can get. So develop actionable strategies. So first of all, you can generate insight, but ultimately you need to have some actionable strategy out of this data analysis. So ensuring strategies align with the organization goals and feasible to implement. Suppose after doing the data analysis, we found that, okay, one of the major problem is people do not get to know that this particular company exists. So you need to spend such and such amount is the on kind of doing this marketing, that there is a company who is doing this kind of a business for this kind of customers, and you need to kind of advertise that in TV, internet, various social media, but you do not have that much amount of money. So you need to understand whether your whatever strategies coming out of this data analysis is feasible to implement or not. So finally, a decision can be made, but at least to start with, you can give this kind of suggestions out of the data analysis you have done. Then implement and monitor action. So suppose you could do some of these strategies are implementable, then you need to monitor. So you have implemented that strategy, you need to monitor whether it is actually giving you more revenue or not, it is actually reducing your cost or not. So those kind of suggestions can be made from the data analytics you have done. Now you have implemented that strategy, now you regularly need to monitor that. Again, to monitor that, you need to project that again through a chart. Suppose you can show a line diagram just to show, okay, last week the sales was this. Um, so suppose last month, first week, this is the sales. So after that, you have implemented this strategy and 7 weeks have gone by, and in the last 7 weeks, the trend is showing that the sales is going up and up and up. So that means your strategy was successful, and definitely you need to monitor further, but at least this kind of charts, like a line diagram or a bar diagram, would be able to kind of give you a picture that, okay, your strategy has been successful and it is giving you more and more revenue. So in a startup scenario, that is very important, that you are growing uh, week on week, month on month. So, and whatever strategies you are taking, that should be reflected in a very short period of time. Corporates, they can take a lot of time for turnaround. So they are not doing well this year, last year, previous year, they can bounce back in the fourth or fifth or sixth year. But for a startup, that is a huge time. You cannot wait for a turnaround for not even a year. So it boils down to how you fare in months and weeks rather than waiting for the results for years. So that is why you need to definitely monitor the actions you have implemented and review and refine. Now you found that, okay, some of the strategies are working and some of them are not. So focus on which are not working fine, the actions you have taken, but they are not yielding you result. The ones which are yielding you result, you can continue to do whatever you are doing those strategies, but where you are not getting the results, you need to kind of tune it, refine it. So this is the way data-driven decisions are made. So defining the objective, collecting the data, cleaning and organizing the data, analyzing them, generating the insights, developing actionable strategies, implement and monitor actions. And when you basically do this monitoring, and even when you are analyzing the data, you rather present it in a visualization form. You do with some charts and graphs. It not only keep them as a table or a data, but you present it in a format which can be visible by the higher management, the CXOs or the founders of the startups, and definitely it need to show to the investors as well, because investors takes decision on that. So customer understanding, again, startups can systematically approach customer understanding again using data analytics. Again, they need to have definitive objectives. What are our customer preferences? What are their pain points? How do they interact with our products and service? These are very, very important for startups, because as a startup, understanding your customers uh, to deep level is very, very important. What is working and what is not in your product or service? Suppose you are a product startup, what is that thing that the customers are liking, what they are disliking, what are their pain points, what are their preferences? Can you include the preferences? More and more people are asking about something and you are not giving or including into your product, you're not going to be successful. So you need to understand that okay, uh, you need to give this message back to the customer that okay, we are working on it in your preferences, we are working on your pain points. So even before that, you need to understand that what are these customer preferences, what are these customer pain points. So you definitely need to collect this information. uh, there are It has become easier in last few years. You have social media, you have websites, so you can do some website and app analytics. You can track user behavior there, that from the page visits, how much time they have spent on that particular web page, and how many clicks he has done. So from the user behavior tracking, you can do that. Customer surveys is an age-old method. So many hundreds of years it is working now. So whenever this MACDs, the KFCs have been set up in a restaurant scenario, whenever these automotive companies have come, all have started this customer service um, back from then. So it is a very old method to gather direct feedback on satisfaction and preferences. Transactional data, analyze purchase history and trends. That is why I talked about the POS machine. Social media, definitely, if people are talking about good things about your product or service, or they are talking negatively about your products or service, so you can get a hangout of social media analytics. Support tickets, identify recurring issues. Suppose your startup is a technology company and you are having 3 4 apps, whether there are some recurring issues in your apps, there are multiple complaints that have been made. So from these kind of sources, you can collect the relevant data. You can use tools like Google Analytics, Mixpanel, or Segment to consolidate the data collection. So there are multiple ways just to collect the data. Then you segment the customers. So you definitely need to understand what are the customer groups that exist. One can be some customer groups who are say between age 20 to 30, who are just college pass outs or college goers, or just join the industry or join the job market. So they have a certain uh, kind of demands, certain kind of changes they are looking for, certain kind of behavior they show, certain kind of preferences they have. Again, person more than 40 years of age, less than say 55, that kind of a person is having a different kind of taste, different kinds of preferences. So you need to group your customer based on your the various things like age, what kind of geography or location they are from, what kind of gender they are, whether more say women are liking your product. So you need to understand the demographics of those customers. Need to understand the behavior, like what is the purchase frequency of them, what is the, if it is a online thing, then what is the browsing pattern, what is the app usage, what are the preferences, whether they are liking the product but for a particular category, particular SKU, stock keeping units. For example, it is only saying selling it for a 200-gram packet, but the 1 kg packet is not selling at all. So you need to think about reducing the sizes, so just keeping very few, say 1 kg packets and increasing smaller sizes a lot more. Perhaps because of the price points, people are not going directly for the 1 kg 1 kg packet. They are just going for smaller packets. So understanding these preferences, you can get out of a customer segmentation. Then analyzing the customer behavior, summarizing the key trends such as most popular features, common drop-off points in a sales funnel. This is important. This is a descriptive analysis. You can do some diagnostic analysis like identifying the factors causing this customer dissatisfaction or customer attrition. Predictive analytics using machine learning or future forecast, you can understand that how much sales is going to happen, what is the likelihood that you are going to purchase this product, what is the likelihood that you will move from this particular brand to a competitor brand. So these are lot many things you can do on that particular data. So you have collected the data, you have segmented the customer, you have now trying to understand the customer behavior, and there can be descriptive, diagnostic, predictive analytics. Then map the customer journeys. Visualize the steps customers take from discovery to conversion. So identify the touch point where they experience friction or drop off. They are very good when they are just joining your they are just starting your product. They have just bought your product in last month. Last 6 months their behavior is very good. But if you are an old customer, either your loyalty might grow or you might shift to other competitor, because you are not getting something which the competitor is giving you. Suppose you are giving the similar taste, similar thing at a higher price point, customer might move to the competitor just because of that pricing issue. That your product is priced at 350 rupees, your competitor price per product is priced at 300 rupees, or say 320 rupees. Just for that rupees 30, people might move to that competitor's product, because they cannot, perhaps you understand that your product is better, but the customer is not understanding what is the minute kind of improvement you can get in your product versus the competitor product. Then you need to figure that out and go back to that customer and say that, okay, see, we are uh, kind of priced it 30 rupees more because our product has such and such as such things. So you need to kind of um, give this information back to the customers, or you need to reduce the price point so that those customers who are kind of shifting from your brand to the competitor's brand, uh, they might not do that. So you need to understand the map the customer journeys, where exactly the customer are in terms of your products and service. Are they starting up with your product or service? Are they in the middle? Say, suppose they are into 3 to 6 months or 3 to 9 months, this kind of a period, or are they the old customer who are using, say, more than a year now? So you have to have uh, kind of strategies for all these three types of customer journeys. You cannot have one single strategy for all of them. So understanding the customer journey and mapping them is definitely important. And then identifying the pain points, looking for recurring issues like customer feedback and behavior, long loading times for, say, app, a lack of desired features on a particular product, inefficient support or delayed response. You have raised a ticket or raised a problem, but you're not getting response from the customer support team. So this kind of uh, identifying this kind of pain points is very much important. Gathering feedback proactively. That is why the surveys, polls, interviews are important to get that what kind of feedback people have from all these customers, and how do you do that? So for identifying the pain points, they might give you some textual message. You can do some natural language processing and use generative AI just to analyze what kind of survey response you have got, and then you can have these free surveys using tools like survey monkeys, typeform, or qualtrics, who can create these post-purchase surveys or in-app feedback, etc. Then developing actionable insights, translate these findings into specific actions. So if a customer wants faster delivery, improve supply chain logistics. If a feature is underused, enhance its visibility or usability. I was also giving about the price point issues. People are thinking that it's overpriced. So either you need to reduce the price, or you need to showcase in the product package itself or in the service discussion that, okay, these are the benefits you are getting in this particular product vis-a-vis the other products in the market. So that is why we are pricing it higher, a 30 rupees, 50 rupees, 100 rupees, whatever rupees more than the other brands that they are in the market. So this kind of uh, actionable insights need to be there. That one actionable insight from that particular problem I was talking about, the pricing issue, is there can be two actionable insight. One, reduce the price as much as you can to bring it at par with the competition, or you can just message it, so that send this message to all of your customer in a way, either you write into the package or in the customer interaction points. You explain that, okay, we have some blah 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 things which the competitor banks do not have. So this is how you develop actionable insight and ensure these actions are actually aligning to your business priorities and are feasible. For example, that second point I was talking about, or the first point, your product is priced such a way, you need to have, say, suppose a 40% buffer on your manufacturing cost. And if you cannot reduce further, so 350, you cannot go below 345 or 340, you cannot come down to 320 or 325, because you want to have a particular margin, you cannot work on that. So this is infeasible that you reduce your price in that case, or it is not feasible to kind of send this message to all of your customers that how your products is much better than the other brands. So these are some of the typical issues you might face, that, okay, I know that this is an action I need to take, but I cannot do because my data team or my analytics team is suggesting that, okay, I need to work on this, I need to reduce the price, but I am not able to reduce the price because the price point cannot be lower than this, or I cannot market it such a way that I each and every customer knows this is the benefit. So then you need to do some adjustment. Okay, you got the message, but you need to play with that. Okay, I can only write it on the product packaging that, okay, this has this much advantage, or uh, I can also say that I can when I'm selling it to different departmental store, or say a retail supermarket, uh, there is a kind of a huge uh, what should I say, that is, there are different types of banners and etc that are available within the supermarket or within that shop. So you show that this this brand has this ingredients you will not get in any other brands or any other product. So this kind of marketing only you can give, but you might not be able to uh, advertise that in television or other channels. So you need to finally decide the startup management needs to decide based on whatever strategies the data and analytics team have suggested. Now they work upon that and develop an actionable insight out of it. So there would be both these parties, the data analytics team as well as the team from the management who decide on this. They then discuss, okay, I understand what you are trying to say. Okay, let me, can you explain it a little more? So they explain, okay, these are the suggestions we can give it to you. There would be some middle management people who will trying to translate that message to the senior management, that whatever they are saying, uh, 3 out of 5 are feasible, and the rest of the 2 we can tweak it this way to make it an actionable insight. So this is how our customer understanding is very, very important in a startup scenario. So just a time check. What is the time? How much time left? Hello.
So now is 5:40.
Okay. Okay. So let me go a little faster. Actually, I have 50 slides. I'm not sure but let me, I'll skip or I'll not discuss all the slides in detail. So ninth point is personalize the customer experience using customer data to deliver tailored recommendations, offers, or communication. So you have gathered this customer data or customer insights. Based on that, you can have tailored communications or tailored offer. So which is absolutely a personalized offer for that particular customer. So you said email campaigns, or you do some uh, content based user behavior. So those kind of personalized, so suppose for a particular customer you give some features, especially we'll see in Amazon, Flipkart, that you have spent a lot on certain items. So they will give that if you next time buy these products for say more than uh, 500 rupees, you will get straight 100 rupees discount. So because they have seen that you are spending a lot on these products, but this month there is a dip on the uh, transactions, so you give this kind of an offer. So you can personalize the customer's experience. Customer is looking for something, you have seen in their web search, that looking for something, so you bundle that particular product along with some other products you are that particular customer is buying. Perhaps he has not already bought the other product, but he has searched for it, or he has given feedback earlier that he was looking for that particular product that is not available that point in time. So you just push it to the customer that, okay, this is available and you will get straight 50% off on that particular product. So this is how you can personalize the customer experience, because you have done this customer analytics behind that. So you have understood your customers. So for a startup scenario, very, very important to understand the customers and what they're looking for, what their pain points are, what are their preferences. All the customer cannot have similar preferences. So segment that customers, analyze their preferences, and uh, go into the actionable insights, and based on that personalize the customer experience and monitor and iterate. You continuously track metrics like net promoter score, churn rate, customer lifetime value. These are very, very widely used uh, KPIs for understanding customer or customer behavior. So example is a food delivery startup could analyze order data to find the most popular cuisines, monitor complaints about delivery delays, segment customer by location and behavior to offer region-specific promotions, use predictive models to target customers likely to churn with loyalty discounts. So these are all the points we are talking about in a nutshell. This is an example of that. Then performance monitoring. I was talking about we need to understand what are these KPIs. So customer acquisition cost, customer lifetime value, customer churn rate, and what is net promoter score. So if, for example, promoter score measures the customer satisfaction and loyalty, whether they are satisfied. So even for an IT company like us in Capgemini or in previously with IBM, we send net promoter score scorecard to our clients. When a project is delivered, we send an NPS scorecard to the customer or the clients. Clients give feedback, okay, out of 10, what score they want to give to us. So suppose they said 10 out of 10. That means they are satisfied and they are going to work again with us. But they can give a score of say 10, 6 out of 10. That means their satisfaction is average and they might not come back to us. So this is very important for any kind of product and service. What is the net promoter score? So we are talking about one individual clients, two individual, 5, 10, 20 individual clients for a IT scenario. For a retail scenario, it's a say few thousand customers. But you can still get what would be the net promoter score. Doing some surveys or doing some other feedback mechanism, you can definitely calculate that NPS. So you need to first of all identify those metrics. So as a data analytics person or say management resource, you need to understand these metrics, that what is going to help in your data analytics, and especially for a startup scenario, you definitely need to understand what is your acquisition cost, what is the lifetime value, what is the churn rate, and what is your net promoter score. Because that means, suppose your acquisition cost is so high but your customer lifetime value is very less, that means you have spent a lot more, you have given so much to a particular new customer, you have given so many discounts, you have given so many other offers to that particular customer, but when you see that particular customer, you see that their customer lifetime value, that means over a period of time, over next 10 15 years, or say few months for a startup scenario, say next 1 year, how much value that customer can create. You see that the customer lifetime value of customer value for 1 year is say not in the top 10 percentile. So do not and see, and the customer acquisition is very high, then you should not give him that kind of an offer, because ultimately you are not going to get that kind of value from that customer. So why spend so much money on that particular customer? So these are the things, these KPIs help. Definitely these are customer metrics. Similarly, you have revenue metrics like monthly recurring revenue, average revenue per user, what is the gross margin. You can have growth metrics like user growth rate, retention rate, conversion rate, operational metrics like burn rates, the rate at which your startup is spending capital. You have a capital, you need to spend it judiciously, right? You cannot spend it in a way that you are spending a lot much capital in the first 3 months itself, first 6 months itself. You need to keep your money and balance it so that you do not suddenly become bankrupt. So burn rate helps you to understand that. Run away, the amount of time you can sustain operation at current burn rate. That is the second most important thing. I was talking about that whether you are going to be bankrupt, uh, or you can sustain with whatever budget you have or whatever money you have, whatever capital you have. So these are the very basic metrics. There can be lot many other matrices, but at least these are the basic metrics that you can think about. You need to have that: customer metrics, revenue metrics, growth metrics, and the operational metrics. Operational metrics is very important because it is talking about whether you can sustain the pressure you are going to experience in next 6 months, 1 year, 1.5 years time. As I said, time is very short for analyzing this for a startup scenario. It is much higher for a mid-sized company or even for corporates. Definitely, as I said, the turnaround time they have is much more. Startups might not get any turnaround time because if they have to hit it in the very first go. So that is why understanding the metrics becomes important. Leverage real-time analytics tools. Use tools that allow real-time data integration, visualization, and alerts. Okay, that you get feedbacks real time, almost real time. That okay, uh, there is a huge traffic in this particular website of yours. There is a huge kind of sales that is going on for this particular brand. So if you can get a real time or near real time feedback, you can also take action real time and near real time. Okay, we can take some actions very fast, and within say that particular day itself, we declare some of the things that okay, if you do such and such things, buy such and such things, we are going to offer you this. We are going to give you a loyalty card. We are going to add you more loyalty points. This kind of decisions can be made if you have if you can leverage these real-time analytics tools. Automate data collections. As a startup, you again have resource constant. Instead of keeping two people to collect the data, can you have some automated data collection processes? There are a lot many APIs that are available through various these apps and the websites, etc. Through these APIs, collect your information, and if you expose the API to at your end, and you can get collect the data automatically. So you can use these APIs, the databases, or the third-party tools just to um, collect this data automatically without the interference of any human resource. Build real-time dashboards. Again, you can create, you can have a framework of Power BI or any other tools, but can you generate, you have fixed about the design, but the dashboards will be created real time. As soon as the data feeds in, the dashboards are auto generated. So you understand what is the traffic overview, what is the sales metrics. So every say every day there is a or every say 2-3 hours, you see what is the traffic, what is the sales, what is the user behavior. So building these real-time dashboards help you take quick decisions. Set alerts and thresholds. So you fix an alert that if it is more than this threshold value, you will take an action. If it is less than a particular value, you will take an action. So you can set these alerts and thresholds. Prioritize actionable insight. You can identify the trends, respond quickly, and optimize the performance. You can enable cross-team collaboration. You can have collaboration tools like Slack, Microsoft Teams, and various other. So even the startups are using this. So for example, Microsoft has all these things. You want to send mails within a company or outside, you have Outlook. You have Microsoft Teams for your meetings, as well as Microsoft Teams. You can also chat with all your fellow employees. You have Slack, again is another messaging app which can many companies are using. So startups need to have this kind of collaboration tools definitely, whichever company is giving them good offers. Okay, first 5 years 50% of the price, next 5 years will increase the price. So if some companies like Microsoft or any other companies giving them that kind of an offer, they will take that. So and this definitely would help cross team collaboration. So that is why collaboration tools are definitely important. Measuring and iterating. Regularly review these KPIs and driving the most impact. Defining the dashboard to focus on the actionable and relevant metrics, and adjust strategies based on data-driven insights. So these are the typical things you need to look for in performance monitoring. Definitely not to forget all these KPIs I was talking about. There are a lot many other KPIs, but these are the primary KPIs one needs to remember. Then investor reporting, you need to have a particular frequency in which you want to report to the investor. Define the purpose, because the investor wants to be engaged. They want to be informed about the progress. you need to highlight the achievement. You need to address what are the challenge you are facing and what kind of steps or mitigation policies you have taken. You need to foster collaboration with these investors and investor team, and you can secure ongoing support that investors suddenly one fine morning understand that you are running at a loss of 50%. So you are at a negative GP, a gross profit of minus 50%. One fine morning, if they say, they would be agitated, they would be irritated. Okay, I have invested so much amount of money in this particular company, and they are suddenly reporting to me that they are at a loss of 50%. So that is why regular catch-ups with the investor, they are saying that, okay, they see a dip in the profit, so they can also suggest or they can involve some other people outside of the company to help this particular company's management, that okay, you can work on such and such things to turn around. So that is why the reporting frequency is very important. You need to have regular reporting of how your company is faring. So key component of an investor report definitely needs to have a executive summary. So this is how you need to report to your investors. Executive summary, which is concise overview of the key updates, wins and challenges. Then financial metrics like revenue, cost, cash position, that is the liquidity of the company, the profitability of the company. Operational metrics like customers, metrics like user growth, churn rate, retention rate. Sales metrics like conversion rate, customer acquisition cost, lifetime value. Product metrics like feature adoption, active users, app performance. All these things are important operational metrics. Milestones and achievements like showcase progress towards key goals, product launches or updates, partnership or major deals, team growth or leadership hires. So these are the milestones and achievements also investors need to know. Challenges and risks, definitely they need to know that what are the obstacles or the problems you have and how do you plan to address them. Fundraising updates, that not only from the investors but from outside also you are trying to raise some funds. So you are not trying to bring new investors. The old investors should know that. Call to actions, clearly outline how investors can help. Introduction to potential past partner or customers, advising on scaling operation or addressing specific challenges. These are all important for your investors report. So what are the tools for effective reporting? Financial reporting, there are these are some of the tools: dashboards, Power BI, Tableau, collaborating reporting, Google Slides, definitely is being used now so much that definitely there are Office 365 for Microsoft. Investors portals, you use platforms like Carta or Visible to centralize reporting and engagement. So these are some of the tools which are currently existing for investor reporting. Reporting best practices, be concise, visualize the data. That is why data analytics and visualization are called together, because visualization is so much important, because people will not go through each and every bullet points. They will see into the charts and graph so that they can understand what is happening. Be transparent, align metrics with goals, use consistent formatting, and communicate beyond reports. You cannot only prepare reports and submit, but also communicate regularly. So regular investor calls and meetings, use this touch point to build stronger relationship and get direct feedback. That is why investors might help you to solve some of your problems. So regular touch points and building a relationship with the investor becomes important for startups. So example investor report template is cover page, include the company name, date and report period. Executive summary, which should be a one-page overview. Metrics dashboard, highlight key financial and operational KPIs, not only their values but show it in a graph. Achievements, list progress and milestones. Challenges and risk, briefly outline any concerns. call to actions, request for investor supports on insights, and appendix, like you have additional charts, you have additional financial tables or detailed explanations, you can keep it for the appendix. So this is how investor reporting should be done. So this is on the all the 4 areas I was talking about, that how data analytics and visualization matter for startups. We talked about the data-driven decisions, customer understanding, performance monitoring, and investor reporting. Moving on, uh, these are the typical roles an engineer or a management graduate can do as a data analytics or data visualization expert. So they can be a data modeler. There can be a Power BI or a Tableau developer, that means data visualization expert, or they can be a data architect as well. Okay. So what is data visualization? Data visualization is a practice of translating information into visual context. The main goal of data visualization is to make it easier to identify patterns, trends, and outliers. Data visualization is one of the steps of the data science for which states after data has been collected, processed, and modeled, it must be visualized for conclusions to be made. You have collected the data, you have processed it, you have done some modeling on that, but it must be visualized for conclusions to be made. That is why you showcase to the investors, you showcase to the senior management how you are performing through a visualization, through a chart. Data visualization is also an element of the broader data presentation architecture. How your data should be presented. That is your data presentation architecture. So it is a important element of that particular architecture. It can also be used to display the test results, share information with stakeholders or shareholders or the investors, plays an important role in big data projects to get the overview of the data easily and quickly. And visualization is central to advanced analytics for similar reasons. When a data scientist is writing advanced predictive analytics or machine learning algorithms, it becomes important to visualize the outputs to monitor results. So we always see how the cluster segments are looking like. Okay, we want to see how the regression line is being fit against the various independent or response variable. We want to see how the decision trees are being made. So we always want to see even the modeling output also in a data visualization format. So because visualization of complex algorithm are generally easier to interpret, because we can then show that also to somehow to the senior management that see our models are saying this. So and this is a proof. So they will not look into your actual original equations or the Python code. So they will look at the even the modeling results by looking at the modeling visualizations. As I said, I gave example the clustering segments they want to see. They might want to see how the decision tree is looking like. So this is how visualization of complex algorithm are generally easier to interpret for the people who are management people who do not have very good understanding of the machine learning models, or people who are laymen, so who are new to the analytics or AI/ML areas. So this is the timeline of data visualization. It is a very old method. So always we would like to see how data can be visualized. So it started way back in the 1644, 1600s. Flemish astronomer Michael Florent provides the first representation of statistical data back in 1644. And then 1700s thematic mapping came into existence. 1800s William Playfair among others introduced some of today's most popular graphs, okay, like the line diagram, etc. 1854 physician John Snow maps the outbreak of cholera that occurred across London during 1854 epidemic. 1869 Charles Joseph Minard charts the number of men in Napoleon's 1812 Russian army in a chart. Early 1900 statisticians are less concerned with data visualization, more focused on exact numbers. Simultaneously, data visualization gains public popularity and charts, graphs start appearing in textbooks and business applications. And late 1900s, the emergence of computer processing allows statisticians to collect, store, and efficiently visualize large volumes of data. 1960s to 70s, researchers developed the science of data visualization and statistics cartography respectively. And in the early 1980s, there is a book on visual display of quantitative information, which is currently used in university courses, and so on and so forth. And later on, so many other things came into existence. So this is a 2-year-old magic quadrant for business. So this is data visualization is part of the business intelligence courses and business intelligence area. So which are the two leaders? That is why I was talking about Power BI and Tableau. So Tableau was a small startup company which was by taken over by Salesforce. Salesforce is again a technical company. They have multiple applications. So Salesforce, that is Tableau, is the second most used or the leader, and before that, Power BI is the um, highest selling and mostly used data visualization application. So Gartner has shown that in 2022, and it has not changed since then. So why even before data visualization, you need to do some data modeling. So this data modeling is different from statistical modeling. You should not kind of mix up between data modeling and statistical modeling. Like to build a, so suppose you are building a house, if you do not have an architect, you just hire a carpenter, plumber, and electrician to construct your house. Uh, it might happen that the bathtub is in the kitchen, the stove is in the hallway, the pipes and wires are going right through the middle of your living room. So that is why you hire an architect to draw up the blueprint and supervise the construction and make it a good house, which everything is in place. Okay. Similarly, for data also, you need to have a data modeling, which is basically designing a blueprint. So you need to design a blueprint to uncomplicate this data, useful information that organization can utilize for smart decision making and strategy. So just creating a table, for example. So this is what data modeling is. Data modeling is the process of creating visual representation of databases and information system. It is the first critical step in defining the structure of the available data. Data modeling conceptually represent data with diagrams, symbols, and text, etc. So basically, there are three types of data models: your conceptual data models, your logical data models, and physical data models. Conceptual data models is identifying the entities, that you have a time entity, you have a product entity, you have a sales entity, and store entity. So you need to understand what kind of high level entities that you are having in the conceptual data model. In the logical data model, you underneath this entities, find out the attributes. Okay, time, you want to have some date description, month, etc. In product entity, you want to keep product ID, product description, unit price, etc. Sales, you want to have the product ID, store ID, item sold, sales amount, store ID, store description, etc. And in the physical data model, you actually give the what kind of data type you want to use, what kind of database you want to use. So basically the physical storage of the actual data. So this is how the data model, first you should start with the conceptual, then go for the logical data model, and then finally you prepare the physical data model. You definitely need to have the primary keys and foreign keys. So basically, a foreign key is a column or group of columns in a relational database that provides a link between data in two tables. And primary key is basically the uniqueness of the table. So in that particular table, a primary key is, say, suppose employee ID, which is not repeating. Now in the it is a foreign key in another transaction table where this employee ID is repeating for different transaction. Suppose in one particular transaction, it is talking about, say, suppose customer ID. Customer has bought a product, a shirt. Again, another transaction, a customer has bought a trouser. A customer has bought another thing. So these are three different things. So customer ID is a foreign key in this particular transaction table, and the primary key in the first table, where it is just talking about the customer ID, customer name, customer age, the customer description in one single record, in one single row. So it is the uniqueness that it is going to give in that particular customer table. That is the primary key and foreign key relationship. This is just the difference between them. So data visualization, we all talked about that, what it is. So I'm not going through what is the benefit. Basically, the colors and patterns help to identify what is important, what is not. When we see chart, we quickly see trends and outliers. Hidden within our data lie important insights. Data visualization brings data to life. It can be easily share the information. It can interactively explore opportunities, and it can visualize patterns and relationships. So it is important because it helps people see, interact, and better understand the data. It's hard to think of a professional industry that doesn't benefit from making data more understandable. While always works poetically about data visualization, there are practical real life examples that are undeniable. And since visualization is so prolific, it is one of the most useful professional skills to develop. While traditional education typically draws a distinct line between creative storytelling and technical analysis, the modern professional world also values those who can cross between these two. Data visualization sits right in the middle of analysis and visual storytelling. So definitely it also helps in um, big data analysis. So drive better decision making with data visualization. You can see the big picture, you can identify the significance, you can make informed decision and track trends over time through data visualization. And evaluating visual data visualization tool, what are your goals and needs? Based on that, you figure out what kind of data visualization tool and technique you are going to use. What feature do you require? Where will your data come from? Where will you need to see your data? Where would you like to publish your visualization? Based on this, you can decide on what kind of a data visualization tool and what kind of charts and graphs you are going to use. And these are the typical types of data visualization. I'll just go brush through them. Yeah, so this consists of rows and columns, so just tables, just used to compare variables. Tables can show a great deal of information. You color code them. Okay, if it is higher than some value, you make it green. If it is lower than some value, you make it red. Rest of them you keep it orange or yellow. So this kind of things can be depicted in a table. Pie chart. So these graphs are divided into sections that represent parts of a whole. They provide a simple way to organize data and compare the size of each component. Line charts show change in one or more quantities by plotting a series of data points over time and frequently used with predictive analytics. Histograms. This graph plots a distribution of numbers using a bar charts representing the quantity of data that falls within a particular range. Scatter plots. These visuals are beneficial in revealing the relationship between two variables, and they are commonly used with regression data analysis. Bubble charts. A bubble chart is a type of chart that displays three dimensions of the data. Bubble chart displays the relationship between this particular chart is showing the relationship between poverty and violent and property crime rates by state. Okay, so basically size of the graph, the higher crime rates in states with higher percentage of people living below the poverty line. So larger bubble indicates the higher percentage of states residents at or below the poverty level. For example, New Mexico is having that. Mississippi is having that higher percentage of state residents who are below poverty levels. And those who are at the right hand corners are having property crimes much higher. So this is how it is showing three things in one particular chart. So it's a three-dimensional chart. Then heat maps. This graphical representation displays are helpful in visualizing behavioral data by location. This can be a location on a map or even a web page. So suppose Corona, during Corona period, heat maps were used at this particular states or cities or blocks are much more affected than the rest. So you can show it on a map. So tree maps. So tree maps display hierarchical data. That trees out of the 1,000 trees, evergreen trees are 500, deciduous trees are 500. Evergreen tree out of the 500 evergreen trees, spruce trees are 300, pine trees are 200. So you can go little deeper and understand how hierarchically they are distributed. So this is just an assignment. So that is, I think that's the last slide I have. Yeah. Any questions?
If there are any questions from participants, kindly raise your hand or write it in the chat box. So I would like to ask one question.
Sure.
So as these different elements like customer understanding, performance monitoring, investor reporting, naturally they are dealing with huge amount of data. So there is the one. So for every different, we need different softwares and tools, or we can have any one common software which can handle all these things.
Yeah. So I'll break your question into two parts. First of all, in a startup scenario, especially, you are not having huge data. Definitely, it is true for corporates or mid-sized companies, but data is scarce in case of startups. So definitely, but if even if you have higher number of data, so there are freely available softwares like Python has all these multiple libraries which can be used for your all kinds of things, like starting from just creating the data, creating some tables and all those things, and then doing the analysis on top of that. But definitely Python is not a very good data visualization it has. So for that, definitely you can go for, again, Power BI is either very less in price because you can buy the um, Office suite along with Power BI. Okay, so Power BI can be added, and even for few early, say initial 330 days or so, Power BI comes as free as well. And you can use Power BI free for lifetime. There would be some features which would be disabled. So data visualization, definitely you can go for Power BI. It has some free components. Python you can go for, because I'm talking about from the budgetary constraint, because we are talking about startups. Python as an open source software, it has most of these things, like uh, from collection of data to all doing all these things. Data modeling, again, you can do it using various applications or software, but Python has some of the data modeling libraries as well. So Python along with Power BI, I think these two combinations would help definitely to solve this particular problem.
Okay, thank you, sir. If there are any more questions from participants, we can take them up. Okay. There is one question in the chat box, sir. It is asked by Mr. Ajoy Singh. Can we use DV to deflect pulmonary disease detection? Is it maybe better option in comparison to detect using deep learning?
No, so basically data visualization is just for initial reporting or initial detection. So suppose you have some numbers, okay, uh, to deflect or detect. What do you mean by deflect pulmonary disease detection? Can you please coming in, or
Deflect,
Sumit,
uh,
what is the
deflect,
meaning of deflect the pulmonary disease detection?
deflect pulmonary disease detection.
Deflect or reflect?
Sorry, sir. He is corrected. Detect pulmonary
Det ha,
disease
ha.
detection.
Yeah. So basically to detection, for detection purpose, data visualization is not for detection. Data visualization is just for reporting. Suppose you have so many patients and you want to have a scatter plot. Suppose that, okay, if this disease is there, there is a higher chance of pulmonary diseases. So you want to show that in a scatter plot. So scatter plot is one of the data visualizations tool, just to show that, okay, if you have one disease, what is the correlation of having the other disease? Or you want to show some numbers, for example, within this age group, this particular pulmonary disease happens more versus. So just to show the information with respect to what kind of patients are suffering from these, where there is an association with some other disease or not. So for those purposes, just those purposes, for those reporting purposes, you use data visualization. But data visualization is just for reporting purpose. If you have understood, perhaps you have not fully understood the purpose of data visualization and data modeling and data analytics. So basically, deep learning is basically going into the deep of the problem. So neural networks would like to identify, suppose if you have a target variable, that, okay, whether a particular problem is actually affecting you or not, you're in detecting the pulmonary. So this person is suffering from pulmonary disease or not, this kind of yes or no situation. Or people suffering from this disease will have a higher probability of pulmonary disease or not. This kind of a yes, no, or a particular target you have, then you go for a deep learning technique. But for initial understanding of your data, initial understanding of the detection or whatever you can say, it is just for reporting purpose. Okay, this age group, this particular hospital is treating more pulmonary disease patients. This particular geography is having more pulmonary diseases. That means there is some problem that is there in that particular region. That is why people are having, perhaps pollution is more. Then you correlate that with pollution. So just do a scatter plot. So it is for your initial understanding. That is number one, for which data visualization can be used, just to report to the your bigger authorities, your higher stakeholders. As I said, in a startup scenario, you are talking about your investor. In a hospital scenario, you are going to the hospital stakeholders, that the hospital founders or hospital investors, that, okay, we can bring more equipment of pulmonary diseases because there are lot many patients of pulmonary disease. How we'll do that? You will just need to show that in a presentation. But behind that, definitely you need to do deep learning, machine learning, or these data analytics techniques, so that you are convinced. Now you report that in a data visualization charts or graphs, because your audience will not understand your deep learning models, your machine learning models, right? You need to project it in a way it is understandable to a layman. Hope I could explain your question.
Mr. Ajay Singh, hope that answers your question. If there are any more questions, please write it in the chat box, or you may unmute yourself and ask after. So there is another question from Subroto Madhok sir. Sir, would you like to ask question?
So Shubhrota has asked, any other data visualization technology for color blind or visually impaired users? So for color blind, definitely there are textures, or there are dots, there are crosses, within a particular say box, there is a bar diagram. Instead of, say, suppose there are three types of customers. One is highlighted by yellow, one is highlighted by red, another highlighted by green, and the colorblind user is not able to understand. There are uh, options to use, say, cross or dots or say dash, this kind of symbols. You will find it in Power BI, you will find it in Excel also. That instead of color, you can use that. So that is for the colorblind users. For visually impaired users, I think there are Braille applications. I'm sure that is available for Excel users, how these visually impaired users can use that. I'm not too sure about the Power BI one, that whether it is also available. The Power BI outputs are also available for visually impaired users. But definitely for Excel or Microsoft Office, it is available for the visually impaired users as well. Hope that answers your question, Subrata.
Thank you, sir. Yes, got it.
Dear participants, the session is open for question answers, and if you have any questions, please ask the question in the chat box or may raise your hand. Okay. So if there are no more questions, we can end this with an end note. We can conclude this. Okay, sir. So thank you very much for this very informative session on this data analytics and visualization for startup. So as we come to the close of this insightful and enlightening session, I would like to extend our deepest gratitude to Dr. Sanmitra Sarkar sir for delivering such an engaging and informative talk on data analytics and visualization for startups. Hope the participants have been immensely benefited from this talk. Sir has elaborately discussed on data analytics and visualization, its need, why it is needed, different aspects like data-driven decisions, customer understandings, performance monitoring, investor reporting. Sir has dealt every topic in great details with different elements to each of them. What are the job roles as data visualization experts? What is data visualization? Why is it important? Data visualization timeline, data modeling, types of data modeling, evaluating data visualization tools, different types of data visualization tools, etc. Sir, your valuable talk has not only enhanced the understanding of this area, but also ignited a curiosity in the mind of participants to explore these concepts further. So I would like to thank all the participants for your patient hearing of this session. We are also thankful to our media partner Educare for covering this esteemed FDP. So I would request Ruvashi sir if sir has something to say about our speaker so that we can end this session. So Ruvashi sir, if sir is there, if sir wants to say something at the end, then we can close this session. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So, with the permission of our principal, sir, and coordinators, we would like to end this session. I hand it over to the coordinators to carry this FTP forward. Thank you, sir, so much for your wonderful session and really interactive and informative. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you all. I'm leaving then.
Okay, thank you, sir.